All right, ACTs. Thanks for watching. You behind the screen. You got this. These are the harder problems, right? Yeah, ACT. Are you cool at timed tests? Yeah, ACTs. Okay, here we go. So we're actually going backwards to 39, and then we'll push forward again. So I did some research, and I just did some figuring out on my own. And figured this out on my own, actually. Okay, so Tahir plans to cut 3 pieces of lumber with a single piece of lumber, and each cut takes 1/8 inch off of the lumber. So what is the shortest piece that we can do there? So the shortest piece we can do, so we have 4 plus 5 plus 6, but then it takes a 1/8 piece off of each one, and so that's going to be what? It's going to be 15 and 3/8. But this is already inches is the problem, and this one is actually feet, right? Yeah, feet. So we have to convert that to inches by timesing it by 12 inches, right? Yeah. So we get 15 times 12. So then 15 times 12 is 180. So we get 180 plus, we basically need, it says the shortest piece. So what about 3/8 inches? So yeah, so we still need one more there. So it's going to be 181. 181. I'm gonna. All right, and we are back. Okay, so we were just busting this guy out, and we got it, 39. Woo! Okay, so that's yeah, because it's 121. It's 100. So it's 180 plus the 3/8. So you have to account for losing. So you need one more. You need one more inch to cover that 3/8 of an inch. Yeah. Okay, next one. Okay, so same idea but different question. So I think this one is supplementary angles. So supplementary angles is what I think we're looking at here, because I think the answer is I. So I think this is like a supplementary angle kind of thing, I think. And so yeah, so they want to know what that angle is, which is beta. And so yeah, so I think it's supplementary. Go with me on that. I don't want to say for sure, but I think so. Okay, there we go. Next one. Okay, so this one, they want to get along another piece, right? So they want to go ahead and grab another piece to replace this one. And they also want this to be 90 degrees. So if they want that to force that to be 90 degrees, then you could use the Pythagorean theorem. Woo! So 4 squared plus 5 squared is equal to the replacement squared. So that's 16 plus 25, which is 41. And so then we square root both sides. And so that ends up being, I think it's like, I think it ends up being like 6.4 or something. Woo! So there's our answer for 41. For 41, yeah, it's like 6.4. Yeah, square root of 41. Okay, perfect. Okay, good. Okay, so keep on going. We'll keep on going. Okay, so 42, I think we already did. I think that was F. Explain that one later. Neighborhood recreation serves 280 children. Okay, so this is kind of a tougher one. So this definitely has some math to it. Okay, so you have 11 children. We'll call 11x, and we'll call 12-year-olds y. So we have x plus y children equals so 280 children, and then the sum of the children's ages, right? The sum of the children's ages. I'm trying to remember this now. How I learned how to do this one. Let's see. So then we don't know what the children's ages are, right? So that'll be like 11 times that many children plus 12 years old times that many children equals 3,280 children. Okay, so you can just substitute. So if we just go ahead and minus y to the other side, and then for x, we go ahead and plug that in. Go ahead and plug that in there like that. So now we have 11 times the 280 children minus y. There we go, and then plus, bring this down. So 12y is equal to 3280. So what we're doing is now we're just trying to solve for y, and then we can also, that'll be the number of 12-year-old children. And then we will need the 11-year-old children by plugging back in. So we do 11 times 280. So 11 times 280 is 3,080. So we have 3,080 plus 12y. And now we minus the 3,080 over to the other side. So I think that ends up being, is that just 200? 3280 minus 3080. Ugh. So 3280, 3280 minus 3080. Yep, 200. Okay, so we get 200, and then we have 12y is equal to 200. So now we divide by 12, and that'll tell us how many 12-year-olds. So 200 divided by 12 is 16.666 repeating. So that's 16.67, which kind of rounds up to 17. Then we take that, and this doesn't make sense. Wow. I thought we'd take that and plug it back in for 17 children, but I feel like that's not right. Definitely made a mistake there, but the answer is 122. I nearly was there, but something happened and I don't know what happened. Oh, it's 3238. 3238. 3238. There we go. So minus the 3080. Yeah, okay. So 3238. We're trying to, oh, and I forgot the minus y. Guys. So distribute. So don't forget the minus 11y, the minus 11y. There we go. And so 12y minus 11y is just 1y. So that's just going to be 1y. There we go. So then we go ahead and do 3238. So 3238 minus 3080 is 158. And so that's going to be our answer there, 158. So then you plug that back in for y. So now we do 280. This is to solve for x, right? To solve for x. So 280 minus 158 should be 122, which is B. So 280 minus 158. 280 minus 158. Woo, we got it. Okay, next one. Okay, you've seen this before. You know how to do this. I shouldn't have to do this. Pause me, try it on your own. Get ready for the ACTs. You got this. Okay, so we have 4 semicircles, and it's a diameter of 10. So that's going to be 10 times 10 is 100. So that's the rectangle. And then the circle is actually 5, right? For the radius is 5. And we have 2 circles. So we have pi 5 squared times 2 circles. So that's 25 pi times 2. So that's 50 pi. And then plus the 100. Okay, put that in your calculator. 100 plus 50 pi is 257.07, which our closest is, so that's 257. So our closest is going to be 260, which the answer is H for number 44. Okay, so this is the right triangle, you guys. This is the right triangle. What up, right triangle? Yeah, right triangle. Okay, so that means this is going to be the opposite side of our angle, and this is the adjacent side of our angle. And if this is 30 feet, cut it in half, this is 15 feet. So now we have a right triangle with 15, 20 degrees, and then this is x, which is the opposite, right? Yeah, this is the opposite side. So that's going to be opposite over adjacent, which is tangent. So tangent 20 degrees is equal to opposite x over adjacent 15. And then we multiply 15 to the other side. There's your answer, which is A. And we just learned that. Way-o! Woo! Just learned that. Okay, so that's A. Okay, next one, quadrilateral. This one stumped me for a second, guys. This one definitely stumped me. Definitely stumped me there. Okay, but what we figured out is that this is a rectangle, B, C, E, F. So that means that this is a midpoint. So G is actually a midpoint. So now we're going to do the midpoint formula, which is x1 plus x2 all over 2 and y1 plus y2 all over 2. Midpoint. And so that's going to be the midpoint with those two. So that's going to be 6 plus 12 all over 2. And then 4 plus 0 all over 2. Nice. So that's 18 over 2 is 9. And 4 plus 0 is 4 divided by 2, which is 2. Okay, so that means that G is actually 9, 2. And that means it's over 9 up 2. So it's a right triangle. So now we got to find C, right? Find C. So we'll go 2 squared plus 9 squared is C squared. And that's 4 plus 36. Not 36. That's 9 squared is 81. And then we get 85. And then we square root both sides. Woo! It's H. The answer is H. Booyah! You know this. So the hardest part was the midpoint, realizing G was a midpoint. Because then 0, 0 is where you start, you make the right triangle. Yeah, that was a tough one, guys. Try the next one on your own. So that one is H. Okay, what is the x-intercept? This one's super easy, guys. Do you remember how to factor? Do you guys remember how to factor? Remember how to find x-intercepts? So x and x, factors of 4, 2 and 2, minus and minus. Set them equal to 0. We get x equals 2. Is the x-intercept, which is E. For all non-zero numbers, blah, blah, blah. Okay, so this one I had to figure out as well. All of them I did actually, nearly. Okay, so we're just going to cross multiply and solve for t. So what does t equal? So cross multiply. So 2t times x is 2t times x. And then 3p times y. Cross multiply. Cross multiply. So then we're just solving for t, so we divide by 2. And we divide by x. There it is. It's 3py over 2x, which is j. Woo! Next one. Okay, this one, honestly, I went through every single answer until I could find the one that works. Super lame. There's got to be a faster way, but I don't know it right now. So I just went ahead and I guessed and checked, you guys. I just went through each answer, finally found the one that worked. Right? Because you have 8 and 14 and 14 and 16. And then 18, you add them all up. And then you divide by 5. That's called the average. And so you get 70 divided by 5. And that's the average, which is 14. And then if you work your way into the middle, then you also get 14. So average is 14. And that's 14, and so then they equal each other, right? So then the mean equals the median. So it's actually going to be 18 as our answer. Woo! So that was definitely a guess and checking one for number 49. Guess and check. Yeah, I don't know. There's got to be a faster way for that one to work. Okay, there we go. Let's double check really fast. So 13 plus 14 plus 15. Oh, there's another. No, what are you doing? It's, look at the numbers. So it's 14, so 8, 14, 14, 16. Yeah. So 8 plus 14 plus 14 plus 16. And finally I did 18 and I got 70. Stop it. It's enter. I'm trying to push enter. And then, yep, divided by 5 is 14, which is the median. Okay, there we go. Okay, so I did this one on my calculator, you guys. I went ahead and I graphed them both, okay? So I just chose a number that I knew would be to the right. So x minus 2 is to the right. So that's the blue one. So that's the blue one. And then I went ahead and said, well, what if there's a negative in front, right? So what if there's a negative in front right here, right? So what if there's a negative in front? So I went ahead and just put a negative in front. And when I did that, boom, it turns out that it's up there, and that's going to be F, I believe. Yeah. So 50 is going to be F. Okay, 51. I didn't have that memorized. I just used my calculator. Okay, so collinear. This one too, honestly, I'm going to bust through this one because this one I didn't have time to go through this one. But we'll just give you the answer there for number 51. Okay, so this is just using trying to prove that HI is congruent to FE. And so the steps you're going to have to do here are 1, 4, 2, 3, 5. So 1, 4, 2, 3, 5. So first we say H and G. So HG is congruent to FG. And then you say that the angles are congruent. EGF is congruent to this one because vertical angles are congruent. And then step 3, angle side angle congruence theorem. So because this side is also congruent to this side because they tell it to you up there. So then it's going to be side angle congruence theorem. But it's actually 4 needs to be first. So it goes 1 and then it goes 4. That EGF and IGH are vertical angles. EGF and IGH are vertical angles. So that's that one. Yeah, so do that first. Cool. And then 2, and then 3, and then 5. Okay, here we go. So this one was really weird. I'm not going to spend too much time on it. It's basically the idea that if you have like a fraction, right, like 1/2, for example, as opposed to, I don't know, like let's compare those two basically, or even compare that one too, right? So it's just the idea that if you're solving for those letters, y is equal to t divided by 0.99, and then z is equal to t divided by 0.23. And so let's say 0.99 is 1, right? So that's just t. But if you take a number, right? If you just go ahead and take a number, and I don't know what t is, maybe t is like 2, for example. And so 2 divided by 1 is just 2. But 2 divided by 0.23, so that's actually bigger. Look how big that is. So it's just the idea that if you divide by a fraction or divide by something really, really, really small, it becomes really big. And so, yeah, so which necessarily has the greatest value? It's definitely this one, right? It's definitely going to be z. Okay. Which of the following is equivalent? I think we're just going to go ahead and get a common denominator for this one. Get a common denominator there. Okay, so top and bottom. So we multiply by k. Probably use a different color, Newell. Okay, so we're going to use orange there. So we're going to times by k to the top and bottom, and times by k plus 5 to the top and bottom. And then we distribute. So we get 5k plus 25 plus k times k is k squared plus 3k. And that's all divided by k plus 5 times our common denominator once. Woo! So there's our answer. Let's combine like terms. So 3k and 5k is together, that's 8k. And then we have k squared in the front. Yeah, this is adding rational functions, remember? All divided by k times k plus 5. So I'm pretty sure that that's the answer right there. Bada bing, bada bang, bada boom. There we go. Okay, so that should be for that one, I believe. I think so. Okay, so this is kind of a weird conceptual one that when you do matrices like multiplying, this is what happens, right? Matrices multiplying. So basically, here we go. Matrices multiplying. So when you do multiply matrices, it goes this with this one, and then this goes with this one, and this half goes with this one. So R1, which is rice, is being cut in half, and R2 is rice, being cut in half. And so the total cost of half a pound of rice for market 1, and also half a pound for market 2. So the answer to number 54 is J, I think. Yeah, 54 is J. Okay, beautiful. Okay, this one's kind of weird. I don't think I fully get this one, but yeah. So it's basically, we have two different x's is what it says, which confuses me. But that's just going to be a number, right? Maybe this is, I don't know, maybe like 5 or 6. Probably bigger than that. What do you think that is? Probably like 70 degrees. And then maybe this one's like over 180. So we'll say maybe like, I don't know, 210 degrees, for example. So that's still only 280 together. But you're basically approaching a line, right? You go like 0, 70, and then you have 0, 280, and you're just getting closer and closer. I don't know. I think that's what it is, but I'm not sure. That one's A. I'm not sure about that one. Okay, compositions. Do you remember how to do a composition? Composition. Okay, here we go. Composition time. So question 56 is a composition. So you're just going to take h of 2. So plug 2 into h. So we get 2 to the third power plus 2. That's 8 plus 2, which is 10. And now we have g of 10. Because that goes back in there. So that goes right in there. And that's going to be 2 times 10 is 20 plus 3 is 23. Woo! So that's going to be a composition. Composition. Okay, here we go. Composition. Okay, 57 is using the law of sines, which I have not taught you yet. I'm sorry, but we didn't get to the law of sines, but the formula's there. Okay, so here's our formula here. So here we go. So we have to first find this angle first. So 180 minus 60 is 120. Minus 45 is 100. Minus 20 is 80. So 75 degrees. So that's going to be 75 degrees. And then we go sine, or you can actually flip it. So you can do A over sine of its angle is equal to C over sine of its angle. It's called the law of sines. So we're going to learn that soon. Law of sines. So then, let's see here. So we have little a, which little a is 18. So 18 over sine of its angle, which is 75, is equal to, we don't know, little c. That's the question mark. So that's going to be a question mark over sine of its opposite angle, which is 60. Okay, so we're just basically going to multiply sine 60 to the other side. And that's our answer. That's our answer. So 18 sine 60 divided by sine 75. 18 sine 60 divided by sine 75. Okay, almost there. How in the heck do you find the area of this square? Well, it's x plus 6 and x plus c, x plus c. And so x plus c times x plus c, right? So that's the area of the bigger. That's the area of the bigger minus the area of the smaller. Right? How many square inches is greater than the smaller? And the smaller is just x times x. So just x times x. And so x times x is just x squared. And then x times x is x squared. X times c is cx. C times x is cx. C times c is c squared. So that's x squared plus 2cx plus c squared minus x squared. Then those are going to cancel. So this x squared plus this x squared, those are going to cancel. So then we're just left with our ccx plus cx squared is our answer. Okay, almost there. This one blew my mind, but we figured it out. Woo! Okay, so this one is kind of crazy too, but we got this, we got this. Okay, so basically, it's a 45, 45, 90 right triangle because the sides are the same. So since that's a 45, 45, 90 right triangle, that means this length down here is going to be 1/2 times special radical 2. Leg times radical 2. So then, now we're making this triangle now going this way. And so we're going to change color on you. So now we're going to do this triangle going this way. And so then we've got, if this is 1/2 inch, then this is 1/2 inch. So now we have a triangle going through the center of it where this is 1/2. And then this is 1/2 times radical 2. And so that's just radical 2 over 2. Okay, 1/2 squared plus radical 2 over 2 squared equals c squared, where this side, question mark, is c, right? That's c. So then that's 1/4 plus distribute the 2. So that's radical 2 squared over 2 squared. So that goes away. So that's actually it's 1/4 plus 2/4 equals c squared, right? So then, how do I move down? Crap. Okay, so 1/4 plus 2/4 is 3/4. And then we have to square root both sides. And so that's going to be the square root of 3 over the square root of 4. And the square root of 4 is 2. So it's radical 3 over 2 is our answer. Woo! But that's how we did that one. That's crazy sauce. Could you do that again on this next ACT? Let's see if you can do that again. Okay, last but not least. So do you remember what secant is? So secant, you guys, right? So secant is cosecant. So cosecant is 1 over sine. And then when you have a negative inside it, right? So times is what's going on there. So when you have a negative inside it, you could actually just pull it out. So now we have sine times 1 over negative sine. And so that's going to be sine times 1, and this is going to be over 1. So we just multiply it, and that's sine theta over negative sine theta. Those cancel, just leaving you with a negative 1 over 1, which is negative 1. Woohoo! Thanks for watching. Extra credit. Did you watch the video? Extra credit. Woo! Bye for now. Thanks for watching. Email me. Email me if you watched this whole video. Email me. Extra credit. Okay, here we go. Bye for now.